If you want to study abroad and confused between UK and US, this video is going to help you because we have a special guest today and we are going to discuss about UK versus US and discuss the different pointers that you should consider before deciding which country is best for you. But before that, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Sarika and welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy. For students who want to study abroad, my team can help you. If you are interested to study in any of these listed countries, you know what to do, right? You have to fill the form which is provided in my video description and my team will reach out to you. So without wasting any further time, let me introduce Murad to you guys. Hi Murad, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy. And today's topic is UK versus US. So let's start the debate about US. Why do you think US is the best country for students to move as compared to UK? So I've prepared some pointers which I'm going to go through and then we'll share our point of view. I hope that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, so Murad, I think the tuition fees, according to me, is one of the deciding factor for the students to decide whether they should choose any country. For UK, if you talk about bachelor's degree or a master's degree, on an average in the UK, students have to pay from 15,000 to 20,000 pounds, which is roughly equals to, like, say, 18 lakhs to 20 lakhs Indian rupees. What about USA?
So USA is on the more expensive side of the spectrum. You'll have to shell out somewhere around 30 to 35 lakh rupees for USA. But there is a caveat here. A lot of US universities give out scholarships. There's one more caveat here. In UK, you just get to study for 1 year. In USA, you have to study for 2 years. So sometimes I feel like the British education system is very compact. You have to rush through the syllabus. So that's one thing with UK degree, a British degree, where you just get 1 year of study. But then in US, you get to choose the course that you want to go for. You can customize your course. If you want to go with finance and tech, you can do finance and tech. If you want to go finance and HR, you can do finance and HR. It gives you that flexibility. But yeah, it definitely costs you a bit more. But then again, there are scholarships also. If I talk about scholarships, more than UK, you'll find more scholarships in US. So it is more on the expensive side. I'll give this point to UK. But USA definitely is worth apply to.
So when you say, of course, in USA, it's 2 years. So the amount which you mentioned, 30 to 35 lakhs Indian rupees, is it for 2 years or is it for 1 year?
It's mostly for 2 years.
2 years. Okay. In UK, because the masters are generally for 1 year. So generally, I've seen students paying around 18 to 20,000 pounds, which is 20 lakhs rupees. And
but then that also depends on the kind of university that you're going to. So if you're looking at something like London Business School, you're shelling out 1.5 crore. If you're looking at Harvard, if you're looking at Stanford, so for Stanford, my friends paid 2 crores also. So it completely depends on which school you're going to. But on a general basis, yeah, US would be almost double.
And we do have scholarships, but again, it differs from university to universities. They are government funded as well, which are 100% scholarships as well. So it's a mix, but on an average, I think US is expensive.
Without a doubt, UK has scholarships, but then US has just a double number of scholarships. There are not enough British universities that are giving 100% scholarships, but there are a lot of US universities that give 100% scholarships as well.
Awesome, good. So 1 point for UK, yeah? So let's talk about the job market. Most of the time when students move abroad, the most important thing for them is getting a job. If they're investing so much of money, what's the job? So currently in the UK, I'm going to say the UK market is pretty tough. UK is out of recession, which is good news. I can see more jobs available as compared to what it was last year or even a couple of months. However, it's still considered tough. And also the immigration cost, the visa cost has went up by 66%, which means now the employers have to shell out a lot of money from their pocket to hire immigrants, including international students. Some of the jobs which are in demand is always like IT, healthcare, construction, and research. What about US?
See, the market is tough all across the world. It's not only UK that the market is bad in. But the thing is, British economy isn't even growing. It's just the last a couple of quarters that the British economy has just come out of recession. But other than that, Britain is going through a really tough time. At least for now, US market comparatively is extremely better than the British market. Second reason being, with the current labor policies, with the current government policies, it's very strict towards the students, towards international students. That's not the case with US. With Democrats, right now, the employers don't really make such a huge distinction between a person requiring sponsorship or not. So you get 3-year post-study work visa in USA as opposed to a 2-year post-study work visa in UK. But in the UK 2-year post-study work visa, as soon as you join, you're looking for a sponsorship job. You just want sponsorship. That's not the case with US. With US, even in those 3 years OPT work visa that we call, the employers don't really discriminate among students. So for international students, it's not as bad, US, but UK is really bad, at least for now. We're hoping that it gets better in UK, but if I have to give it points, the current job market, I'll give 5 points to US and maybe just 2 points to UK.
Yeah, thanks for that. But I would like to know, what kind of jobs are in demand in US? Which kind of students should target US versus UK?
So ideally, STEM oriented courses, UK does say that it is good for STEM oriented courses, but honestly speaking, US is the birthplace of STEM oriented courses. So I think STEM courses, you go for science, technology, engineering, mathematics, you talk about computer science, data analytics, business analytics, anything towards analytics, it has to be in the US. Cutting edge technology, AI, all of it is being built in the US. If you're going for non-STEM courses, if you're looking at anything towards humanities side, political science side, I would completely refrain against US. First of all, you don't get OPT. You don't get a 3-year post-study work visa. In that case, you just get a 1-year post-study work visa. So in that case, UK still remains a very amazing option, because let's suppose you just want to go for a normal marketing course, which is not a STEM designated course. So in US, you just get a 1-year post-study work visa, wherein in UK, you still get that 2-year post-study work visa. Regardless of the degree that you go for, you get a 2-year post-study work visa. So if you're not going for a STEM-oriented course, UK still is better, but UK job market for a course like marketing is really bad. So there's a caveat, and the reason why you're going abroad is probably for majority of Indian students is majorly just to get a job, and in that case, UK job market is bad.
But based on what you were saying, 2 years of work permit, which is given in UK versus which is not the case in US, the OPT visa. So I would say the point should be 3 rather than 2. 2 seems really low. I know the market is tough, but again, I have seen students who do have decent work experience from their own country, irrespective of they're from India, Pakistan, Nigeria, wherever they are. They do manage to get job if they do have a decent work experience, because you see, UK is a experience-based market rather than degree-based market. So I'm going to say 3. Do you agree to that?
See, there are a couple of caveats to that. So if you already have work experience, the degree that you're going for sort of doesn't matter, because if it's experience based, then the college that you're going for doesn't really matter. You just have to reach UK. Then why are you even looking for a degree? Just directly go and apply. So that's one way to look at these things. But if you're coming from India, you don't really have a chance of getting a job, because if you already have a good profile, then why would you want to move to UK in the current scenario? You're stable in India. India is growing. All of those things are happening. So that's why I am a bit against UK. I did post like a huge post against UK, and I did get a bit of backlash, but at least 1,000 British students were like, yes, we agree to it. So I have this tendency of talking very brashly, but I would still say I'm not that big of a proponent for UK, at least in the current market.
So remember this point, we are going to touch this at the end of this video, yeah? Because I want to know if you're planning to study abroad and if at all you're choosing country. So guys, if you're watching this video, make sure you watch till the end, because very interesting conversation we will continue to have with Murad. Moving to the next point. So let's talk about the living cost, Murad. I know, again, students, they come with a very low budget and they want to save money as much as possible when they move abroad. So talking to plenty of students in the UK, so I know if they are, say, in London area, they spend on an average, say, £1,000, say roughly 1 lakh Indian rupees. But if they're outskirts of London, they spend a little less, say 600 to 700 pounds, which is again, say, roughly 70,000 Indian rupees. Do you have any idea about the US and how much is the living cost there for students?
US, it completely depends on which part of the country you're in. It's so huge. If you move to Texas and if you move to a city like Houston, which is relatively a very good city, you'll be shelling out around 60 to 70,000, somewhere 80,000 probably. But if you're living in, I'll say for Stanford, Palo Alto, you're spending somewhere around 1.6 lakhs. It's way more expensive than London also. So if you're living in LA, or if you're living in anywhere in California is damn expensive. New York is damn expensive. So depends on which place you're living in. But to have a general idea, 1.5 lakh rupees in a very big metropolitan city like Chicago, New York, or California. But on a general basis, 65 to 70,000 rupees in a regional area.
Now I do have a fair understanding. So I
I
think
think this point we should just
go to
it depends where you're going. Because if you're moving to London and if your college is probably Imperial in the middle of London, you're spending a lot. I don't think you can survive in 1 lakh rupees in the middle of London.
Well, you can. There are options. Of course, I cannot make a very detailed video now, but yes, there's an option. So I think this point should go to UK. Let's put that as UK point. Let's move to the next one. So another important point from students' perspective is usually when they go out to study, they also want to settle down, at least live in that country for some time. So in terms of permanent residency in the UK, so UK do offer different kind of visa categories. And one of the visa category is skill visa, which is based on the points-based system, where basically you need a job offer from a licensed sponsor. So of course, there are more than 90,000 companies in the UK who can sponsor students here. But once you get a sponsorship and once if you are on that skill visa, after 5 years, you can apply for your permanent residency. And after that, you can apply for your British passport. There are other visa categories as well, which is called as global talent visa, where you don't require a job offer. If your job is in academia, research, and technology, without a job offer, you can still settle in the UK on a basis of 3 years versus 5 years. And there are many more visa categories, but on the top, I'm going to say there are two major visa categories for students to settle in the UK. What about US?
A lot of streams that you can try your luck in. But majorly for Indian students, we look at H-1B visa. And right now the market isn't good. So the H-1B, there's a lottery system. So once you're done with your 3-year post-study work visa, during that period, your employer would apply for your H-1B visa. It has right now an acceptance rate of somewhere around 10%, with Indians making majority chunk of it. But even if you end up getting it, like in UK, in 5 years you get an indefinite leave to return. That's not the case with US. You have to apply for a green card. And the green card queue for Indians ranges from 150 years to 200 years. I would give this point without a doubt to UK, that if you're looking for long-term settlement, even if you do have a plan of action, you still give this point to UK, because you can't be looking for a US passport. It's just way too difficult. I mean, you can be lucky enough to get it, but you'll have to be very lucky, very lucky.
Okay, so after winning another point, Murad, let's talk about salary. So without even any discussion, I know you will be winning here. Yeah, but okay,
I think I need to defend US a bit more. So I think I'll take this point and I'll gloat about this point for a lot of time. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But US, without a doubt, there is no comparison. I think average British salaries right now is 30,000 pounds.
It's gone up 32. Let's put 32,000 pound.
Somewhere around 32 lakh rupees you'll be making in UK. And if you're in US and you're not making 80 to $90,000 after a good master's degree, you're doing bad, man. And that would be somewhere around 60 to 70 lakh rupees. $1 million salaries, you can expect that in US. One of my friends at Stanford, when she was graduating, she got a job offer for $140,000 and she rejected it. And she was like, what is this? She's just a master's kid. She's like, what is this $140,000? And that's the kind of salaries that you look at in US. I'm 100% sure you can't look at such salaries out of college in UK.
Definitely you cannot. I mean, of course, there are exceptionals. Again, we are talking about just a general, right?
That's probably a person who has been working since 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. So it
right out of college, rejecting a $140,000 job.
Yeah,
that's just Stanford kid.
So yes, I think I don't want to debate further, but in terms of paymaster, UK is not a good paymaster, and the average salary is not good as compared to US. So of course, for people who just want to earn some good money and quick money, US is better. But remember, guys, you have other points to think about UK if you are thinking about permanent settlement. Yeah. After US winning 1 point, let's move and talk about another important factor. Again, this is about distance from your own country. Majority of the people who are watching my videos are from Asia, like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and also from Nigeria. So for me, when I moved to the UK, one of the important factor for me was how quickly can I go back to India in terms of emergency, because I still have my mom and dad living in India. And for US, I know it's a long distance. So I definitely love UK because I can take a night flight. I can be in the morning as soon as possible. What about US?
When I used to take a flight from New York, it used to take around 14 hours. So yeah, I'll give this point to UK. And honestly, distance is one of the most important factors for me, for my family reasons as well as my business reasons. So if I have to give this point, I'll actually give 2 points, because this one more point of time difference in US. There's only, I call it a golden hour where you can talk to your parents. Other than that, when you're sleeping, they're up, and when you're up, they're sleeping. There's just a golden hour of opportunity where you can call your parents when you're up and they're up. It's not like, oh, I'm having a bad day, I'll call my parents. Oh no, it's 3 a.m. for them. I can't call them. That's not the case with UK. More or less, when you're up, they're up. It's just a 4 or 5 hour difference, which is fine because for people who stay up late and wake up early in UK, they're basically living the Indian Standard Time.
So you know what? When I sleep at night, I sleep like late, like 1 or 2 o'clock, and my dad gets up like 4 and 4.5 in the morning. So my 12 o'clock, I speak to him because he's already up in India, and that is how it works. And then when I get him in the morning or afternoon, then again I have a chat with him. So they're like,
Yeah, so you can have a chat twice or thrice also.
yeah,
And
correct.
even if you want to call them during the day, you can. That's not the case with US. You have to be very specific. There's just a golden hour where you can call your parents.
UK winning again. Do you want to really continue further, Murad? Because I see UK is already winning. Why are we even
I
having a
think
conversation?
I think the most important points like salary, kind of colleges. We didn't talk about kind of colleges. American schools cannot be compared to British schools. In the top brass, I'll just keep Oxford, Cambridge, and London School of Economics, London Business School.
Yeah.
In terms of management students. If we're not talking about management students, then Oxford and Cambridge. I don't even have a third option. Maybe probably Imperial.
Yeah.
And if I talk about US, every school, if I talk about Stanford, Harvard, MIT, Duke, Cornell, Columbia, I can go on. I can talk about Dartmouth. This is just the Ivies. If I move on, I can talk about UT Austin. I can talk about Berkeley. I can talk about like every school that I talk of. Every state of US has a better school than a UK British school. So we didn't talk about the kind of colleges that US has.
If
We
you
also didn't talk about the kind of research that you get to do in US.
So you didn't talk about US, so you are losing. I knew I'm not going to win there. That's why I did not bring this point. You see, you have to be clever as well, Murad. So
Yeah,
if we
but then
talk about those universities, yes, definitely US is winning. Of course, the number of universities that US got, we have less numbers in the UK. But remember, the size of UK is much smaller as compared to US. Yeah. Remember this debate that we are having now about UK and US. It's for you guys to decide which country is better for you, which important factors is most relevant for you. For few people, I know students that I interact with on a daily basis. For them, they want to settle in the country where they go to study, whether it's UK, US, or whichever country. So if that is an important element, you need to think of it. If you want to earn high salary and then return back to India, then you need to.
But there's another caveat here. If you study at a good US school, you get to make big bucks in US. And then everyone in the world wants you. If you have US experience, US 3 year experience, everywhere in the world, you come back to India, they want you. You go to UK, they want you.
Yeah.
That you would never get in US. You study in UK, you get work experience in UK. Even after that, people will be like, okay, UK se pada hai na. But if you study at Harvard, everywhere in the world you are needed. If you study at Stanford, everywhere in the world you're needed. If you study at any good university of US, everywhere in the world you're needed.
But they're still not pro-immigrant, which even UK is not.
They're extremely against immigration. Everyone is extremely against immigration, but still people know that this is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, indeed, it is. In fact, all the top companies you talk about now, you have Indian CEO there, right? Okay, so continuing our discussion, let's talk a little bit about the safety of students when they move abroad. Of course, from parents, they want to see which country is more safer for them. We have been seeing in the news everywhere what's happening in the US, and of course, we know that UK is much safer than US. Again, I'm not going to say UK is completely safest country in the world. No, it is not. All the countries have their own safety issues. But if I compare with US, I believe you agree already, Murad, that UK is much better in terms of less.
With the gun violence and all, definitely UK. But then if anyone is planning to come to US, one thing that they can keep in mind is the blue states are actually not scary. They become very safe. So if you're looking at California, you're looking at New York, you're looking at New Jersey, all these states are considerably better. But yeah, if we have to talk in terms of UK versus USA, this one definitely goes to UK.
So another important point for me, I think, is the healthcare. When students move here, they want to know, what kind of healthcare facilities will be given to you. So in UK, we have something called as NHS, which is a national healthcare system of The UK, I will not say it's pretty good, but you know what? You get your services free of cost. When I say free of cost, basically when students come in their fees, they already pay a fees which is called immigration health surcharge, where the NHS cost is absorbed. They're not very fast. They're not good as India if you compare, where you get a service just like that. There's a lot of waiting time here. However, because the cost is already part of your visa, you can avail this service for free. What about US?
In US, you have PKP, which my friends call Papa Ka Paisa. So if you have a lot of money, you can get things done in US. I think it's a very comparable point because in UK, you spend somewhere around 2 lakh rupees for the NHS. On the other hand, in USA, you get a private insurance for that. In UK, your government is doing all of those things. You're paying the government. In USA, you're paying to a private company and they're getting things done. One more caveat here is in UK, you don't have anything towards dental. Nothing towards dental is covered.
Yeah.
In USA, you can take a private insurance which covers that as well.
Yeah.
One more thing here is US healthcare is ideally better, just more expensive, but better. And response time is way better. So one of my friends who was in UK had to get a knee surgery done, but since it is considered not as an important surgery, he was given a date of 6 weeks. 6 weeks from today, you can get that thing done,
That's still
which is not the case in US. Which is not the case in US. So that's the same case in Canada as well. So people from Canada come to USA to get these things done
Okay.
because they just don't get an appointment. You have to wait 6 weeks to change my knee. That just doesn't make sense. But for them, it's not a critical surgery. So if it's not a critical surgery, you have to be on the wait list.
Yeah.
So
And
I would say equal points. But if you're a citizen, if you were a PR or if you're a citizen, then for British people, it's free. You don't have to pay for NHS in that case.
yeah, till the time you're paying for your visa, you have to pay the NHS fees. But after that, you don't actually pay anything. But again,
And after that, it makes more. After that, a point should go to UK because you still have to get something in US. You still have to get a private insurance in US. So after that, but as an international student, it more or less is similar. You're paying 2 lakh here, or you're paying the same for a private insurance, or probably less for that. So it's probably the same.
okay, so there's no winner here. Okay,
Yeah,
so
there's actually.
Murad, I think we had a good conversation in terms of, US versus UK. If we have to conclude our discussion, of course, I know we can go on and on about this topic. I can see how passionate you are about US and me about UK. But of course, one of the reasons why we are making this video is so that students can make their decision. So if we have to wrap up our video, why do you think students should go to US? What are your few pointers out there?
I would say come to US if you're looking for a stronger job, if you want a higher salary, better reputed college, want a global exposure. When I say global exposure, have the chance to work in different countries and are ready to take risks. Because when you come to US, you work here 3 years, there's a highly likely chance that you might have to move to Canada after that, or maybe UK. So have that capability or the capacity or that risk taking appetite. With UK, I would say the job market is tough. So the applications that you're sending, you have to at least send 400, 500 applications. So you have to stick around in UK. And it's a very luck based thing. If you don't have work experience, there is a chance that you might not end up getting a job, which probably is not the case in US. Even if you have a very decent profile, average profile, and you slog through, you'll get a job. If you slog through, you'll get a job. That's probably not the case with UK.
The market is quite saturated, and you're right, the market is tough as well. And like I said, UK is more like an experience-based market rather than degree-based market. However, I'm going to ask you, do you have any plans to study abroad?
Before you say that, I would also want to add one more point that UK took 1,60,000 international students, Indian students, 1,60,000 Indian students, and it's also taking Pakistani students. It's giving visa to almost every student. That's not the case with US.
Really?
US is very selective with the kind of students it's letting in. So if you're a below average student, US is not letting you in. As a result, the supply of people, there's not a glut of supply. So it is still possible for people to find even lower wage jobs. That's still not possible in UK because UK is a smaller country and it's taking comparable number of students as opposed to US. So US being a bigger, huge country, somewhere around 30 trillion economy, is taking only enough students. And on the other hand, UK being just a 3-4 trillion economy, they're taking almost equal number of students. So as a result, because there's a huge supply and demand mismatch, I still think US is a better choice. And yeah, I'll answer your next question now.
But this was a good point, actually. I didn't know the number of students or what kind of filter they do, before taking any students. I think that's a fair point and good point, actually. So let's talk about the last point, which we did discuss in the beginning. Do you have any plans to study abroad in the recent time? If yes, which country are you choosing?
So I had the chance to study at Stanford, and now just to have a experience of British market, I'm also planning to start my MBA at Oxford. Let's see, and then I think I'll be a better person to talk about US versus UK, because I've lived at Stanford campus. Next, I plan to live 1 year at UK campus, Oxford campus. So let's see. I'll make a better comparison video. We'll make a better comparison video after a year where I talk about both pros and cons of both the countries.
This is just a part one, guys. If you're watching this video, make sure you comment part two for next year, where we'll get Murad and
Yeah,
detail. And we'll do a podcast because he's coming to the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That would be on my channel, but
Okay. I'm more than happy to be part of it. So on that note, thank you very much, Murad, for joining and recording this session, and all the best to you. I cannot wait to see you in the UK, and all the best to you in your journey as well. And thanks to all the students who are watching our video. I hope this comparison will help you guys to make your decision, and good luck to everyone.
thank you. Bye. Have a nice one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.